Hello, welcome to the first episode of So Over October. I am Christina P, Tom Segura's wife.
I'm LeeAnn Kreischer, the machine's wife. I'm the mechanic.
The mechanic, the shore upper.
The shore upper of the machine, yes.
Yeah, the maintainer, the feeder, the lover.
The luber.
The luber, all of the above. So we're the other half of Sober Bobtober. I can't talk. I'm so tired. So we're the other half. We're the unspoken half of Sober October, and we thought it might be a good idea to start a podcast to see how the other half survives.
To give it a voice.
To give it a voice.
To give it a voice. Because damn it, I deserve one.
You do, LeeAnn. Of all of the Sober October widows, I would say you do.
I do. I fucking do.
Yeah.
So do you.
Let's talk about it. I don't know. I do. Look, I think you and I, we both have road comics.
Yeah.
For husbands. So we're both comedy widows in a sense, where we take care of the kids when the guys are out. It's a lot. But people don't realize that the Sober October month really wreaks havoc on our home life because they're gone already a lot.
Yeah.
And now they're
gone when they're home.
They're here, but now they're out doing hot yoga for 3 hours or hiking to keep their heart rate up for 4 hours.
Yeah.
So,
or convinced they're dying because they're detoxing or like that. Like, I am positive I'm dying, or I'm now changing the sheets daily because we're fucking sweating constantly.
So you got
laundry quadruples for me. And I do, I do my own laundry. So I don't have anybody that just comes to my house and does my laundry. Yeah. So I'm washing like literally 6 towels a day for him.
What? Wait a minute. The towels?
Yeah.
From the detox sweats?
The sweat. Well, no, the sweat, like hot yoga was like a 2 towel minimum.
Yeah.
And then he has a towel because he doesn't shower. He goes in the pool.
What?
So that, he doesn't shower. At some point in the week I have to go, you have to put soap to skin.
Yeah.
Like I'm done.
Because the pool is chlorine. It's not.
It disinfects, but it doesn't clean.
Well, and doesn't it? It's nasty for the pool to have his sweat and his butt juices and everything. Okay, cool.
But he's the only one that goes in the pool, so he can.
Fair enough. So he comes out chlorinated and he smells like chlorine. Okay.
And sweat still because there's no soap.
Yeah.
So after a couple days, I'm like, dude, you gotta put some fucking soap to skin. I can't handle it anymore. That's actually what I call it. And he's like, okay, got it. But and then so there's a towel. There's 2 towels for whatever he's working out. Like he's been doing hot spin. 2 towels. He has 1 towel for the class and 1 towel for the car.
Oh my God.
And then he gets in the pool and has a towel. And then at some point in the day, hopefully he has a shower and has a towel. So that's 4 towels in one day.
He can't reuse a towel?
No. Oh, you mean he would actually hang it on a hook and let it dry as opposed to throwing it on the ground outside?
Outside?
Outside, yeah.
On the dirt?
Yeah. Well, we don't have dirt
grass
on our pavers.
You guys aren't total trash. No, you have grass. Sorry, I forgot. I'm thinking
right
of my
next
backyard.
to the propped up truck, we throw the towel. No,
I'm thinking of my backyard. Okay, so he's a huge waster of towels, and then you've got to pick up the towels.
Yes, and wash them, and we run out of towels. Like every 2 days, I'm out of towels.
Okay, so that's just the beginning of your suffering.
Yeah.
There's night sweats.
Day sweats and night sweats. It's kind of an equal opportunity sweat fest. It's just all the time. And he has about the first 5 days are rough because he starts having like rolling panic attacks and the sweating and he's like really paranoid. So
paranoid about what?
He's paranoid mostly about the other people doing Sober October, about Joe and Ari. Right. Like, what are they doing? Well, what am I doing? What are they saying about me? Well, what am I saying about them? Well, what's going on? It just doesn't make any sense.
Right. That's what people don't, I guess, see about our side of Sober October is there's a lot of in the past, I know this time around, we're not doing a competitive component. Thank God. This is a kinder, gentler Sober October, which is fantastic for us. Yeah. But in the past, it's been just, first of all, my husband's on the phone a lot already. But now it's always a flurry of group texts. Yeah. And they're like 15-year-old girls. Like, what do you just tell us? I heard that so-and-so went to go do this class in their head and da-da-da-da-da. And there's a lot of like
that class is bullshit.
Yeah.
It's not really hot. It's only 118. You're like, what? Guys, come on.
Right. There's a lot of like behind the scenes of, the gossipy or the whatever, the drama that we have to deal with. So he gets paranoid. And does that kick up his competitiveness? Does he go into overdrive?
He goes into panic.
Yeah.
Like his competitiveness in Sober October seems to come from like a panic place of like, I'm going to lose and I'm going to get my ass handed to me when we do the wrap up Sober October. I don't want that happening. Like when he does all this Mickey Mantle stuff, when he's like doing a marathon, last minute, it's very different because he's kind of competing against himself. When he's competing against these guys, I always feel like, I may be wrong about this, but I always feel like within that 4-man group dynamic, he's the dog that gets kicked most often.
Interesting.
So I feel like.
Why do you say that? Who's doing most of the kicking? What do you see?
I don't know who's doing most of the kicking, but I always feel like he's the guy that gets picked on, sort of, or at least that's how he feels sometimes. I think so. He doesn't want that. He does everything to avoid getting picked on.
Well, I think shame. Especially with the weight loss challenge, the one that our husbands did the before Sober October, the fear of shame is a powerful motivator in these competitions. And it worked great with our husbands when they lost weight.
But I guess I just didn't shame enough at home because the weight all came back. So I didn't go, piece of shit.
Yeah, you need to put the boys on him. You got to get
pizza, really? Again, really?
Yeah, how fast did he put the weight back on after the first weight loss challenge?
It wasn't super fast, but it definitely, the road is really hard.
Of course,
yes. I don't know how anybody stays in shape on the road. I don't know how you do it.
It's damn near impossible.
So that's what happens. You just went back on the road. And so you're eating at 2 a.m. and it's never healthy. It's just really hard to stay healthy. Even if he's healthy all day, he blows it after his show. It's just blown.
Yeah. That's how I am. All day I'll be good, and then the show ends and I'm like, all right, I'm going to drink a little bit of this. Oh, those nachos, great.
Exactly.
And then it's 2 a.m. and I'm eating nachos in bed.
Yeah.
And I'm watching House Hunters. Yeah.
I would be the same way.
Disastrous.
Yeah.
You're bloated, you come back, you're just a mess. So I get that too.
And your clock's off, and when you don't sleep well or consistently, you hold on to weight. It's a big vicious cycle. So
yeah, it's a lot. So
there's a lot.
So you've got, it sounds like Bert, because my husband, the sobriety stuff isn't that big of a deal for Tom. I think Tom's very competitive. Again, we're not doing a competitive thing. So I think it makes me upset to see him worried about losing. You know what I mean? As a wife, you don't want to see your partner stressed out or like, oh my God, I have to go do this thing right now.
Right.
And I think too, like in our family, we have 2 small children. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Right.
And they were even younger
before
last time. So it was like, dude, we have like babies.
Yeah.
And he would have to go hike the hills for 4.5 hours to keep his heart rate above a certain level for the thing. And I was like, dude, it's like they're completely checked out for the month of October. And we're left to do a lot of the heavy lifting with the children and the house maintenance, and it's a lot. It sucks.
It does. Well, it doesn't. My life's pretty much like that all the time. He's pretty much checked out, and I do the home maintenance all the time. That doesn't change for me. But I know what you're saying. To have 2 small kids, I probably would feel very differently about it if my kids were the age of your kids. Like my kids are very self-sufficient, so nothing really changes for my schedule where they're concerned. Like I don't need a backup to go. He could organize his day so he could still pick up after softball practice, which is different, That would be really hard.
Yeah, it's terrible. And plus, they don't get to see their dad as much, which obviously upsets. I hate that. I don't like that.
Totally, because they're home all day. When my kids were in school, Bert would go do his stuff while they were in school. So as far as the kids were concerned, they just knew Dad was a head case. Other than that, they didn't know anything else. He didn't really affect them. So I can see how that would be really hard.
So what are you dealing with normally versus, so we got the towels, we know that the panic attacks,
the towel's
anxiety.
Pretty normal, but what happens during Sober October for Bert is he starts panicking before it starts about how he's going to manage flying sober.
Oh right, that's a legit fear for Bert for many years.
For many years, he handles flying medically. He doesn't handle it sober. So he starts freaking out. Like he started freaking out about his flights last week. Before anything happened. He's like, how am I going to fly sober for the month of October? And I keep saying, well, you've done it for 2 Octobers in a row. So why do you think you can't do it again? But his brain doesn't work like that. He still is just like, he's a catastrophe thinker. So everything is about, there's a catastrophe. It's coming. Here comes a catastrophe. Where's it coming from? How do I manage this catastrophe without booze? How do I do it?
Yeah.
But he always does. So the thing to me that I wish he would learn about Sober October is that by probably 10 days in, he's really grounded.
Interesting.
And he's really solid. And if he would just remember that, like every year, or even when he's had a long, week or 2 or 3 or 4 of drinking a lot, if he go, actually, I'm good without doing this, I think he would not be so panicked when we come up on this every October.
Yeah, that's true, because I don't know if you've ever had a problem with like eating or drinking. Like I go through phases where I get real chowy. Like I'm always snacky, and then like I'll feel a bad feeling and I'll be like, I should have a piece of, like I should eat something. Excuse me. I mean, I don't have a problem. I'm not an alcoholic or whatever, but I do. Yeah. And I'll start to be like, I gotta have my drink at the end of the day. And just that thought of like, I have to do that thing to feel calm inside really bothers me. Because when I stop doing that behavior and you calm the fuck down and you just get centered again, you're like, oh yeah, I don't really need that compulsive thing to feel calm and capable. Because that is kind of what that is, isn't it? Like, I'm not capable on my own to handle this. I got to do something external.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a type of a coping mechanism.
Right. Exactly.
It's a learned coping mechanism. So you can learn to cope in a different way, but it's hard to realize that, taking a deep breath.
Oh, I hate taking deep breaths.
Can do the same thing as drinking a glass of wine.
Oh, no.
It can.
It can. No, I know, you're right.
But it sucks, but it can.
Sucks, yeah. So what does he do during the month of October when he's flying?
He just white knuckles it. Yeah.
He doesn't have any coping strategies?
No, he won't. I've tried to help him with that, to say, why don't you go see somebody who can tell you how, give you some tools. And he's not interested in that. I think he really believes that part of his brain is tied to his comedy, to how he writes.
Yeah. Oh, right. Sure. I see that.
So he doesn't want to mess with it. So I kind of get it. But at the same time, I go, I don't think deep breathing is really going to mess with your comedy.
No, I think that's the fear a lot of comedians have, is that if I fix me, then I won't be funny anymore.
Right.
And here's the good news, is that that messed up part of your brain, that fundamental wiring that the wires are crossed at, you're always going to have that.
Yeah, it's yours.
It's your.
You're welcome. That's
you always have that trauma or that whatever stuff. Yeah. You're just learning how to like bypass it in therapy or whatever.
Yeah, when you need to. Yeah.
So rest assured, you'll always be a little screwy.
They ain't no fixing that boy. That's
no.
For sure. No.
Hypnotherapy, I've tried that. I've quit smoking with that.
He's not into any of that. No.
Okay.
I mean, he goes to see a therapist from time to time, but he always comes away thinking he knows more than that guy does. Oh, always. Oh, I know where he does. Oh, yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'm like, then why do you keep going back to talk to him?
Hilarious.
So whatever. But the Sober October for me at my house is a lot of mental, emotional shoring up, right? Of the first few days he's really detoxing. And I say, you're detoxing, so you need to know that your thoughts are not accurate. Like everything that's going on in your brain is not based on like accurate things that are happening in life.
Right.
You need to just like muscle through these first 5 days. And then he's also not a really healthy eater. He's not someone who goes, I'm just going to transition to protein and vegetables. He just stops eating.
Oh.
So that's not healthy either, because then your brain's not, your brain needs food to function. So then his emotional inner life is really screwed up because he's starving.
Yeah. Well, he mentioned he has a fatty liver on the podcast with Joe yesterday.
You can barely get a belt around that thing. Have you seen it?
I've not heard of a fatty liver before. I just never heard of it. But he said that the weight loss, he must lose weight now.
Yeah.
That it's food related and diet, and that he's going pasta free. What's that? What's that mean?
I think it may be booze related. I mean, just call me crazy. I think he leaves out what he don't want you to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So booze related. What is his daily regimen that he's detoxing from? Give us a picture
From booze?
Yeah, just everything. Like what is this? What is he detoxing from specifically?
I'll tell you what it is. The number one thing is about control. He's detoxing because he can't decide whether or not he wants a drink. So in Sober October, he has no choice. And that is worse for him than being sober.
I agree. Not having a choice seems to be a big theme in this installment of Sober October.
Does Tom feel that way too? He doesn't have a choice?
No. But hold on. Let me table the choice discussion for one moment, because I want to get into the actual details. Like, what is Bert eating and drinking a day? Like, walk me through his diet.
He usually he doesn't eat breakfast. He never really has been a breakfast
What
guy.
time does he wake up?
Like on a regular day? 9.
Okay, so he's up. What time did he go to bed?
Probably midnight.
Okay, so he's up at 9. So good 9 hours of sleep.
9 hours sleep. He usually will get up, go to spin class. I mean, if he's home, he goes to spin class every day that he's home, or he goes for a really long hike.
Because he does like athletic things. He said that
he's
on
very athletic.
Joe's show yesterday. I like to exercise. I like to play basketball or whatever with the kids. I go biking. Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah.
So he goes to do, that's so far so good.
Yeah, he's really active in his regular life. So for him to have a challenge where he's got to keep his heart rate up every day for a certain amount, the extremity of last year's was the problem. It wasn't that you had to work out every day. Like hot yoga the year before was not a big deal for Bert because he works out almost every day anyway.
Right.
So
it's keeping it there was difficult. I think that was killing Tommy.
It was killing Bert.
Yeah, it was killing everybody. I think Joe said on his show that he was peeing blood at some point.
That's ridiculous. Well, I remember Bert calling and going like, I'm at the airport. I'm about to be on a plane for 6 hours. I'm fucking losing today. There's no way I can keep my heart rate up. I'm 6 hours on a plane.
Yes.
This is terrible. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do? You can't do anything. Why don't you walk home? Try that.
Right from the airport.
What are you going to do? You have to get on the fucking plane.
Yeah. Well, my husband had the same problem. That was the big complaint, was being on the road.
Right.
When flying. So then they would get to the hotel in whatever city and then get on a freaking treadmill.
Yeah, for hours.
Because
like
watching
they've been
movies.
Sitting for 6 hours in a plane.
So, okay. So we do a hot yoga. We wake up at 9. There's no breakfast.
He doesn't eat breakfast.
Does he drink coffee?
He does drink coffee.
He goes to do hot yoga, spin class.
Yes,
and that's how long is that?
It's an hour.
An hour.
Our class comes home, gets in the pool.
Chlorine's off.
It's a dip.
He's unreal. Okay, and then
dips.
Throws a towel on the grass.
Yep. After he threw the 2 towels from spin class in the floor in my dining room, living room.
Sure.
Wherever he feels fit to drop, as well as all of his wet clothes from spin class, which are gross. And then he sometimes will eat lunch. He's really inconsistent with lunch. If he's busy, he just doesn't eat anything.
And what's a normal lunch for Bert? Be honest.
Lunch he does pretty good. Lunch he tries to be pretty healthy. The wheels come off at like 4 p.m. because he's starving. Because he just went to spin class and burned 700 calories and has eaten nothing. So he'll eat like a lean piece of protein, no vegetables, just protein.
So it's very sparse. Like he really tries to go hard on the...
Yes.
Yeah.
And then 4 o'clock, he's eating up pizza. And I'm like, dude, if you'd have a sufficient lunch, you wouldn't heat up pizza. And then he'll have literally like 4 pieces of pizza for a snack. And then he'll eat a huge dinner because he's starving. Yeah. And then he has this shame spiral. I totally fucked up my diet. I totally piece of shit. Yeah. This is why I can't lose weight. I was so skinny this morning. I'm a fat fuck now. And I'm like, well, dude, remove the 4 pieces of pizza.
Right.
Just if you just remove the 4 pieces of pizza, I bet you your calories would be on track.
But then, so what happens is, I'm guessing there's a shame spiral, and then it's, I'm a piece of shit. Yes. I'm going to start drinking.
Yes.
Because people that use alcohol, I think there's a justification. Like you have to justify the reason to start drinking.
No, that's actually not what he does.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
His drinking, most days when he's at home, is about like a celebration. Like I made it through the day. It's a reward.
Right. Okay.
So
I get
him,
that.
It's a reward. Like I did it.
Okay. I got through the day. I did my spin class, but then I ate those 4 pieces of pizza. But
that doesn't count in his reward.
Okay.
He doesn't do that. But the drinking for him is like, I had a great show. I sold out my show tonight. I'm having a drink. That's a reward. I went to spin class. It's almost like the drinking and the food. The drinking and the food shame are not related. They're not related.
Okay.
I think the drinking really has to do with like a little bit what you're talking about with the emotional piece of like medicating yourself for emotional stuff. But I don't know that it's necessarily connected to food because he still rewards himself when he's eating really well. So that cycle doesn't change. It's not like he had a great day where he ate healthy all day and then he goes, well, I don't need to drink. His drink is about, I made it to 5 p.m. without a panic attack, or I made it at 5 p.m. without,
Wow. So he really, I wasn't aware of that. So Bert really deals with a lot of anxiety, it sounds like.
Yes. He actually has OCD.
Yeah.
And he has a panic disorder. I don't know that Drew would probably know. Dr. Drew would probably know exactly what it is.
Oh, he knows. Drew knows.
Yeah, I know he knows. He knows a lot.
And has Bert ever been medicated for the anxiety?
No.
Okay, that might be a really neat option.
Wouldn't it be neat? It'd be so neat. I'd love it. Oh my God.
I mean, it sounds like, and I don't know if this is in line with the rules of Sober October, but maybe some pharmaceutical help. And this might be a really neat time to visit a psychiatrist and see if there's even just a little to take down that panic and that anxiety. I'll tell you, because I had pretty severe postpartum depression after both my children were born, and I had such overwhelming panic and anxiety. I was like, I white knuckled my entire life, dude. I've seen some shit and I've never been medicated. I need help. And just to take a little something just to bring it down, so that I could go see a therapist, do better in therapy and stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he's open.
Gee, I've never thought of that before. It's really brand new thought. I haven't suggested it either.
Never.
No.
Yeah.
No, he has a prescription of Xanax, and it is a very mild subscription. It's like 0.5 milligrams or whatever, and he takes half of one when he gets into a really, I can't manage this panic moment.
Right.
And he'll take that, but it's like pull the cord emergency moment. There's no management of that, which is what you're talking about.
That's what I'm talking like. Yeah, because there's two forms of stuff you can be on, which is the escape hatch drug.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm freaked out. Let me take a little bit of something now.
Right.
Or there's the consistent management of one's, I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry. I hope I'm not insulting you.
I'm not insulted at all.
Okay, because I legit was like, hey, there's this thing you can do, because I didn't know for 42 years.
No, I knew. I've been trying to get him to do that probably for 15 years at least, to try and get on something that would just keep it even keel so that he can function. Well, I mean, clearly he functions. I mean, clearly he is
he's a very high achiever,
functioning person. Alcoholic, OCD, panic disorder person. He's very high functioning.
Yes.
But I feel like he deserves relief. Like,
I agree.
It's got to be exhausting to have that every day or almost every day. To me, it looks exhausting because I don't have any of that shit. And the one day that I have some anxiety, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted.
Yeah.
So, but he just will not consider it because he thinks it will alter the way he thinks and how he writes jokes.
I gotta tell you, I've actually gotten better as a comedian since I started taking.
I've told him your experience.
Yeah, I mean, I started where my mom's at. I started wearing colors for the first time in fucking 30 years. Like, I'm wearing white. Like,
right?
I don't know if you've seen photographs of me in the last 20 years. I wore black for a long time. Like, it's not necessarily, and you can always access the darkness, sweetie. The darkness is always alive in us comedians.
You are preaching to the choir. Yeah. I would be so happy for him if he did that.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny. I was aware that he had some anxieties. I didn't really get a full picture until what you said, and that it really makes me feel bad for him. It's like you don't have to live in that level of suffering.
No, you don't.
You brought up the instance of no choice. And let's get into the big discussion from this month's Sober October. So for those of you who don't know, let's go through a recap. The first time we did Sober October, it was hot yoga, 15 classes in 30 days, as well as a weight loss challenge, right?
Yes.
I can't remember that part. And it was whoever could lose the most weight. Was it? I don't remember now.
I just remember.
I blocked it out.
I remember it being, I remember them weighing in on Rogan's episode. So they must have. I don't remember how
which to me was always the funnest part, is them being shirtless, and like I think Bert would get down to a Speedo. Probably. And my husband was shirtless, and like I actually really enjoyed those finale episodes, and I'm sure the listeners do too. of watching everybody and watching them order pizza and get ripped, which is a special day at the end of the whole journey, which I love. That was a grueling sober October for Tom, definitely. I think just the time component, not so much the hot yoga classes, but that's a 3-hour commitment. Like Tom was saying this morning, he's like, yeah, I would have to drive how much time to get to the studio, do the class, wind down from the class because you're exhausted, get in the car, come back. That's a part-time job.
Yeah, it really is. It was.
Yeah, and then on top of that, trying to lose weight, blah, blah, blah. And then the second one, that was the first sober October, right? And the second one was to keep your heart rate above a certain amount for the month, and that was grueling.
It was awful.
And they monitored it and they kept track, and I think that was really crazy for them to see how everybody was doing all the time. Right. I think that element of like, oh my God, today Ari did this well, or Joe is killing. Joe is way the fuck here. I can't finish. I remember Tom saying, "Look, Joe's gonna get first. I don't want to be last."
I was the same. I said that to Bert. Just give it up. Joe's winning. Let him win. Do you really need to win? Do you need to win?
Yeah.
You can't control the fact that you're flying constantly, and he's not.
Right.
So that he has an unfair advantage, not intentionally.
Right.
It just circumstantially, he has an unfair advantage.
Well, and he's a real competitive man. He's really juiced.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not at all. No. But I think Tom and Tom's thing was like, I just don't want to be last.
Right.
You don't want to be last because that's terrible. So I forget. First one, hot yoga.
Yeah.
What was the results? Was Bert losing that one?
I don't
fucking remember. Anyone remember? I don't remember. It's a blur. The point is, the good news this time around, there's no competitive element. Thank God. The gentlemen have to take 10 classes in anything they want, and they have to read 500 pages over the course of a month, which I find hilarious because like I read 500 pages a week, I think, in high school.
Right.
But I get it now. We all have time restraints.
Yeah.
We have
dyslexia.
Fuller lives. Oh, and Bert's dyslexic.
So for him,
that's terrible.
This is the worst challenge, right? Hot yoga, bring it. This is the worst. He's like, how the fuck am I going to read 500 pages? I was like, buy a book of poetry.
Poetry, Dr. Seuss. Isn't there some kind of...
There's got to be a workaround. Come on. There's got to be a workaround. That's what dyslexics do. They find workarounds.
That's right. They do. They're very resourceful people, actually.
Yes.
So the new challenge is much kinder and gentler. Thank God. Tom is out shooting guns right now at a gun range for his first item.
I told Bert I thought he should take a real estate class.
I think that's fucking brilliant. That is brilliant.
Macrame?
I'm not even, I love it. Pottery, gentle things. We were
rock climbing class.
Rock climbing.
Yeah.
We were kicking around painting at our house, which would be awesome. Stripper pole dancing, silliness.
Oh, I've done that class. It's fabulous.
Is that right? Oh, yeah, you did. You liked that one, you said. I mean, look, I love this Sober October. I think this is all intrinsically good things.
Yeah.
And then your husband's on a diet. He's cutting out the pasta, he said, on Joe's podcast. Pasta, sugar, alcohol. So he's really going to be restricting that one. I mean, he's going to be probably cranky, yeah.
He'll be cranky, yeah.
Yeah.
He gets really rigid in Sober October, right? Really rigid. And he kind of expects us to do his rigidity. Not the hot yoga, but like last night I had a glass of wine. He was like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not doing Sober October. I mean, and I never have wine, and I've had a rough week. Yeah. So I have like 3 glasses a month. I want a glass of wine tonight." And he was like,
so he's so codependent. He's like, you have to do what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah.
That's really codependent. Yeah. I actually drink a lot more in October. I find myself self-medicating the whole month. I'm like, fuck you guys. You guys are doing this shit. I'm not on board with any of this. I'll see you later. Glug, glug,
3 hours of hot yoga? Take this.
Yeah.
Right?
I do. I party hard in October. Do? Oh, yeah. I mean, party hard for me is 2 glasses.
Well, invite me over.
Yeah, come on, man.
Right?
Come over and drink in front of Tom.
Totally. Look at this big boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I drink 2 glasses of Sauvignon Blanc. I watch TLC shows and I party. That's how Mom in bed by 9:30. That's my big night. I'm hungover today. No, so Tom he doesn't not a big drinker. He does like to have edibles.
Yeah.
And I think that it helps him like after shows on the road. Mm-hmm. Like you're all jacked up. You just performed. It's so hard. I drink on the road after. I'll have a glass of wine and I greet people or whatever. So I think that's going to be challenging for Tom. He does get rigid too. I see Tom getting into, he loves to, but he also loves challenges. My husband likes this stuff of like, I have to do 10 classes. I got to do it.
Yeah, Bert does too.
Yeah, they like that. I hate it. I would be very resentful. I'd be like, look, I don't need extra challenges in my life.
That's the way I feel. We talk about this with boot camp. Bert's like, you need to go to boot camp.
No, I don't.
I got to pay somebody to yell at me. I'm not going to pay somebody to yell at me. I had my whole childhood someone yelled at me. I don't want to show up and go, you piece of shit, drive and give me 20. I'd be like, fuck you, I'm getting in my car.
100. I'm the same way. In fact, this woman I see who trains me for Pilates, I like her because she's gentle.
Yeah.
And I don't respond well to trainers.
I don't
like,
either.
Come on, you can do it. Push yourself. I'm like, fuck you.
Then you do it.
You fucking. Well, because like, bitch, I've been done. I pushed myself out of a horrible childhood.
Yeah.
I pushed myself into college.
Yeah.
I pushed myself to be a comedian.
Right.
I'm a goddamn Marine. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's the way I feel. I'm a pusher.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to push.
Yeah, I'm all good. Like life is pretty challenging enough for me on day to day. So I don't like this idea of adding synthetic challenges. I got a 3-year-old, I got a 1-year-old. I have a comedy career that I have to maintain. I've got a body that I'm trying to get back.
Oh, good luck. Let me know where you find it, because I haven't found mine yet.
I know. I'm on all fronts.
Yeah.
Disciplined as a mofo. So you know what I'm saying? Like, mama's gonna drink in October. But he just gets more rigid, my husband too, in terms of like, it's fucking 9, I gotta go shoot, I gotta go do all this. And I get annoyed. Quite honestly. Because I don't like the rigidity of like having to do 10 or 15 classes of whatever nonsense. Right. It's a big time suck, blah, blah, blah. So let's get back to this idea of choice. Let's talk about the big Jewish elephant in the room. You know, I love you, my man, Ari, but we got to talk some shit right now. We got to talk some shit because Ari Shaffir, get your life. You are out of your damn mind, homie. So for those of you who don't know, listen to the Joe Rogan podcast yesterday. Our friend Ari Shaffir.
Your friend Ari Shaffir.
No. Ouch. Sizzle. Burn. My friend, maybe not, I don't know anymore after this podcast. We'll see. Our friend Ari, my friend Ari, dosed your husband with Molly.
He did.
During a Bertcast. Mm-hmm. Ari, so from what I gathered from the story, Ari came over to your home because that's where Bert shoots out of the man cave.
Shook hands with my daughter on his way to the man cave, who was home. Yeah.
So your girls are how old, just to the audience?
13 and 15.
13 and 15. Uh-huh. And so they went in the man cave, and then Ari said that he was preparing shots for the two of them, and Bert saw him kind of with his back to Bert. And he's like, Bert was like, I was filming you, Ari. It was on on his Instagram or something.
Yeah.
And then Ari dosed him with Molly. Mm-hmm. And then Bert said that he drank it and that, it tasted a little weird, but whatever. And then they podcasted as he was, I guess, as the Molly was coming on.
Yeah.
And that it ensued in severe panic attacks.
Yes.
And so let's talk about it. Let's talk about your end of that story.
Okay.
Listen to Joe Rogan's show to get Bert and Ari's side, and this is LeeAnn's.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think anybody who comes into someone's house with their kids there and drugs an adult in charge there's something wrong with that.
What? What do you mean? Totally normal. Totally normal, Ari, for you to come over and dose your... You guys are in your 40s.
I know, right? That's what I kept saying. It's not like you were at a rave. You're not at a rave. You're at my house. I was cooking dinner for Bert to have dinner with our kids because he was leaving that night to go on tour. And Bert wouldn't come in the house. And I was like, what's going on? He's not coming in the house. I don't understand. Why is this podcast going on forever? And he kept going, stay in the house. Just keep everybody in the house. They usually podcast inside the man cave, but for whatever reason, this time they decided to do it on like our outdoor furniture.
Oh, I think because Bert was saying he was admiring the sunset.
Maybe.
From Molly.
It was beautiful. It was intense.
That's what he said. It was a beautiful, and he's like, despite, okay.
Yeah, no, he's like, I just wanted to stare at the trees, and I couldn't. I was like, what's going on? But I didn't know what was going on, right? So until I invited Ari to stay for dinner, I was like, I cooked dinner, come stay for dinner. He's like, no, I'm good. I'm going to leave. And then Bert told me And I was like, wow, Bert could have had a heart attack. He could have had a stroke. That was pure Molly. And he's on blood pressure medication. He's 47 years old. And imagine if that had happened with Isla home.
Right.
There's just no thought outside of Ari's agenda. There was no have the agenda and then get to the place and go, there are 13-year-old kids here. Right. Oh, wait, this may not be a great plan. Maybe I should rethink this.
Right. So Ari leaves, and that's when you realize, oh God.
No, Bert called me in the bathroom and he said, I need to talk to you alone. So he told me he very smartly said, I'm going to tell you something that's going to make you really upset.
Oh, so he
said, I need for you to put your feelings aside and take care of me.
Okay.
Because I am having massive panic attacks.
Yeah.
So I need you to know this before I tell you what's going on. And I was looking at him going, his pupils are like pinheads. What's going on?
Have you done Molly before?
No,
or
I've never
ecstasy
done Molly before.
or
I've never done.
Okay.
No, I've never done any drugs. I've just drank. I've smoked pot 4 times and threw up all 4 times. So I was like, maybe not for me.
It's not, yeah.
But I knew something was wrong. But I was like, something's wrong. And he told me, Ari just slipped something into my drink. And I had to do what he asked because I could tell he was really panicked.
Yeah.
He'd been panicking.
Yeah, now is not the time to get angry and show him
No.
Because he's just hanging on.
Yeah. And because he had to fly also. So
that's right. Bert mentioned that too.
Yeah,
he's like, I got on a fucking plane that night.
And he hadn't even packed because I don't think he expected a 5-hour podcast, and he had a 5-hour podcast because he was high and he didn't want to come in the house with our daughter. So I just feel like that is a really a big line crossed.
Yeah.
Not just dosing my husband is a line crossed.
Yeah.
Especially knowing, and I'm sure there's no way Ari could have known he's on blood pressure medication, blah, blah, blah. But no one does that. Who does that?
I know.
It's very date rapey.
It is.
It's very date rapey to go and blunk, and now you're under my control, or now you're not under your control.
Yeah.
It's very date rapey. So it's just gross.
Well, the guys were saying on Rogan's show, what if that had been a girl that you had done that to, Ari? That would be way uncool.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too was Ari's reasoning. Speaking of this no choice thing, he felt he was resentful towards Bert because now they're imposing sobriety on Ari. So Ari can't go to a baseball game and have a beer because of Bert. Because this is Bert's fault. They're saying
wait.
Yeah.
Does Ari not believe he can say no to Sober October? Is he not a mature enough person to go, you know what, I want to do this?
I don't think he wants. I remember at the beginning of the show, Joe put out vodka and was like, all right, who's ringing the bell? And I think Ari grabbed it, and then I don't know. So you're right. He could have.
Why is that Bert's fault? Why is that anybody's fault other than Ari's?
Right.
I mean, if it targeted Bert, then in theory, he could target anybody that was involved in this to blame that person for a choice he's unwilling to make. He's unwilling to say, I don't want to do this anymore and I'm out. Well, that seems to me like nothing to do with Bert.
Right. It is. It's a crazy logic. I really can't defend Ari on this one at all, bro. I'm trying to understand here, but I think it's you can't give somebody drugs, especially adults. I think that's kind of the crazy part. Is Bert's 47,
right?
I forget how old Ari is, but it's come on, bro.
Yeah, it's a multi-layered.
Old. What are you doing?
It's a multi-layered.
We can fall down and break our hips at this age.
Right? Totally.
What are you doing? I mean,
you're on the road together. You're fucking around in a hotel room.
That's different. Yeah.
He's in my house with my kid.
Yeah, I get that.
I'm not cool with that.
I get that.
The two negative experiences I've had with Ari had to do with, could have or did affect my kids. So I'm sorry. I'm a mama bear with my kids.
Of course.
And you can't go in and drug Isla's daddy in her house. And I mean, he didn't even get to say, he wouldn't even really engage with her at all for the rest of the night to even say goodbye because he was He was afraid she would know something was wrong, right?
Yeah, that's heartbreaking too.
That's not okay.
Because he's gone so frequently, and then to not even be able to like see your children and say goodbye. With the sane. But all right, so I'm trying to see Ari's side, and
good luck.
Yeah. So I also think before you have children, you kind of don't have that consciousness maybe as much as when you finally do. You know what I mean? Like before I had kids, I don't think I had this awareness of like, oh, there are children present. Maybe I should curtail. I shouldn't say this. I shouldn't do the X, Y, and Z. Now that I have kids, I'm real cognizant of like, oh, there's little ones. So maybe Ari's, I don't know, not really keyed into that stuff, but I agree. Had it been done on the road or something where there's no children around.
Still not okay.
Still not fun. Yeah.
Still
to be
not
dosed.
okay.
Yeah.
To be dosed and it's still not okay.
It's really not okay, man.
But it would be less not okay than it is to do it in my house and front with my kids home.
Yeah, I'd be pretty livid too. Yeah. I would be pretty fucking mad.
Yeah, it made me really mad.
Yeah, I don't blame you. If he did that to Tom, fuck, I think Tom would just beat the shit out of him. I feel like he would just punch him.
Well, I mean, that's part of it too, is I think.
But then he's high on Molly, so he's like, I love you, bro. Like, I think that's the problem.
Let's hug it out.
Yeah,
let's hug out our problem.
It's ecstasy, right? Like, isn't, I've done ecstasy. Wait, Nadav, my millennials here. Isn't Molly just pure ecstasy?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. But what was an ecstasy that made it not as rad as Molly?
I think meth.
Oh, that explains it. Yeah.
What was it?
Because meth isn't ecstasy. I don't know.
I think ecstasy was just always, at least from
like
my understanding,
drugs.
it was like cut with something else sometimes.
Yeah, because I remember feeling when I took ecstasy in college, like you'd have moments of like, woo, life is great, followed by like, I feel dirty. I gotta take a shower. It's inside. The dirt is inside of me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then the next day you're just floored. Like there's you can do nothing.
Yeah, he was wiped out the next day. Yeah. From what I understood. He was on the road, so. He felt really wiped out.
It's terrible. It's a tough drug to do. It drains all your juices out of your fucking brain.
Right.
Yeah, I Ari, you fucking. That's a hard one to defend. I feel your pain. I'd be livid. I would too. I agree with you.
It is indefensible to me.
Yeah.
Maybe someone else can go, oh, whatever, they were having a good time. Okay, you can totally have that perspective. Absolutely, you're allowed to have that perspective. But for me personally, I cannot find any reason or excuse for it, and I don't believe someone who is a friend would do that to a friend. No matter who the perpetrator and the victim are, I just don't think that a friend does that to a friend. So the motivation for him to have a good time, if that's Ari's motivation, was for us to have a good time or to punish Bert,
I think it sounded like revenge. It sounded a little bit.
That's not a friend.
Revengey.
My definition of a friend, I feel vengeance toward my friends.
Right.
And I don't really blame my friends for something I don't want to do.
So you're saying Ari is a sociopath, definitely.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm not.
There's the promo.
Ari Shaffir I will not take responsibility for that statement. However,
I'll say it for you.
I would say that if you asked me to go shopping and I didn't want to go, I wouldn't throw my coffee on you.
Right.
Oh, fuck you. Right. Making me go shopping, you piece of shit. I would never do that. I mean, I think if you can break it down to those very non-threatening terms, no one would agree with that behavior.
Yeah. No, it's not cool. Like I've not been dosed before. I've never been given a drug against my will, but I can imagine it's like, especially something as powerful as a street drug, like acid or LSD, Molly. It's not like he was given a weed cookie, which I think I've accidentally eaten weed brownies as a child. I was like 9 and I ate like 3 of them. Some fucking slut at a pool party.
Explains a lot.
It sure does. Wow. Summer of 1984, opening day of the Olympics, and I fell asleep on the couch and I woke up. My mom made me chicken wings and it was delicious. So like, bro, I would be so angry if someone had done that to me. Because it fucks up your whole day and it fucks up your whole next day. It's like, you got stuff to do. We're adults here. We're not in our 20s. We're like, okay, I missed some classes at college,
right?
Because I was high.
Right.
We're talking about careers and getting on planes and children at stake. So it's kind of fucked
What do you
up.
think? I don't know Ari very well. What do you think if someone had dosed him, he would feel? Would he be cool with it?
I don't know. I don't know.
If someone vengefully decided they were going to dose him during a business transaction, which is recording a podcast, do you think Ari would be upset by that?
I don't know. I can't speak for him. I think that I don't know. He's such an enigma. He's such a complicated dude. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But let's put this out. Yeah. I've known him for years.
I think he's pretty fucking base.
Hey, man. Whoo!
I think he's pretty simple.
We got some beef. This is beefy October.
No, it's not beef.
I love it.
It's not beef. It's just my personal evaluation. That's it.
Okay.
I think he's a pretty simple guy. He goes down to those base kind of like emotions that I think maybe mature adults don't deal with.
Yeah.
So.
Well, is there anything, let me put this out to him then. Is there anything Ari can do to repair your relationship?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope.
You won't accept an apology?
Nope. Oh, okay. I've gotten an apology from him before. It was not an apology, but he thinks it is. So
what was the apology?
He posted something about, we had posted a picture of Georgia on Instagram, and this was before she had braces. So her teeth were really all jacked up. And he posted something about her teeth like, nice fucking jacked up teeth, asswipe. Why would you put this picture? Something like that. It was really offensive. For a child. And I was like, she's 13.
Oh my God, Ari.
You can't
Ari,
do that. And I got really upset and had Bert pull the picture off and call Ari and say, you can't do that. She's a 13-year-old girl and she's going to read that. And that's not cool. And you're supposed to be our friend. Like, we know you and our family. So you can't do that. And his apology was very like, that was a joke, right? That was the apology. And I went, I'm good. I don't need anything else from you, dude. I got you. I know who you are now. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no ownership that might possibly have been a mistake, or that, even to say, hey, I didn't think about it from those terms. I don't have a 13-year-old kid. I didn't think about her reading it. No, it wasn't that. It was like, you're an asshole, right?
Ooh, right.
That
felt a little,
you're,
yeah.
Okay. It was a joke, right? And I went,
Ooh,
yeah, I know you're a comedian and I know it was a joke, but if you're 13 and you read that, it's not a joke.
It's pretty devastating.
Can you meet me here halfway? There was no meeting halfway. And I went, okay, good. All right. I know who you are. And that's cool. I don't think I ever interfered with his friendship with Bert ever. I mean, they went skiing together. I never tried to make any decision or choice for Bert where Ari was concerned. I never wanted to be that wife.
You're a better woman. I would be like, Tom, cut that fucking guy out.
No. I feel like Bert is his own person and he can make his own decisions. Yeah. And I can tell him how I feel about it, but I can't expect him to behave based on how I feel about something because he feels differently. And he had a genuine friendship with Ari that maybe I didn't understand, but I respected, completely respected.
Yeah.
But this drugging Bert, I don't know how to fix that. And if Bert decides to continue being friends with him, that's his decision. But I sure as hell don't understand it.
You're tapped out.
I don't ever want. He definitely can't come in my house again if he's going to bring an extremely illegal drug into my house when I have teenage kids and drug my husband. Then no, you can't come to my house. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's a line drawn because that was an illegal activity that happened on my property that affected my husband and possibly could have affected my kids if he had fallen ill or had a heart attack or something like that. I mean, could you imagine if Bert had a heart attack in front of Isla?
Yeah.
That would have been really bad.
Really fucking bad.
And I know it was not Ari's intention for it to be that bad, I'm sure, but then that's where I kind of have to draw the line. If Bert, it's not my business what Bert does with Ari. That's his business, but I can definitely let him know how I feel about it.
Yeah. Hey, man, everyone's entitled to how they feel about things, and you're a protective mama bear, as you should be, of your family. And I can't say that I would feel any different, honestly. Like, if he had done that to Tom in our home, I would be fucking livid, especially around our kids. You don't want that shit in your fucking house, man.
It's not okay. For the record,
yes,
it's not okay.
It's not okay.
And yeah. It's not okay.
It's not okay. Would you accept Ari? You won't accept his apology. Would you ever talk to him about it?
No,
we're not gonna. Okay.
No, not today.
I don't blame you. Maybe the finale of our So Over October, because we are only doing this podcast once a week. Maybe for the grand finale, we can have Ari come in and apologize. I don't know.
He can come in and talk to you. And I will be at home.
Okay. All right. Hey, this is an invitation. You're welcome to come defend yourself, Ari Shaffir, if you want to. Not with LeeAnn here. All right. Is there anything? So this year's predictions.
I was thinking maybe we go through each person. You say their strengths, their weaknesses, where you think they'll rank.
I think that's not a good idea right now. I think we.
I was gonna say let's start. Well,
Ari can dose everybody, and then he can take the lead.
Oh, there he is. I think. Listen, I think this year in general, I think it's a productive way of doing Sober October. I'm really proud of these guys that they've taken the competitive stuff out, because I think that was really it was funny, to watch them torture each other.
Yeah.
It was fun. And I think, one thing we haven't even brought up is the wonderful sort of ripple effect that Sober October has on listeners, and how this really does help a lot of people out there stop doing whatever it is they're doing, losing weight. It motivates people to follow what our husbands are doing. And I think that's really cool and special.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think so too. We were saying before the mics came on, we don't have anything like, Who Shot JR?
Right.
And there's this cultural, everybody's doing this one thing all at the same time. And I think even though everybody's not doing Sober October, there is a community.
Drunk as shit.
Not me either. But there is a community of people who hitch up to this every October. They look forward to it. They can't wait for it. They count down for it. They get hammered September 30th, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then jump into October. It's really inspiring.
It is inspiring. And I think that that's really cool.
Me
and I
too.
think that, at least Rogan is a big inspiration to a lot of dudes out there in general. And I think it's really responsible of these guys to do this once a year. As much havoc as it wreaks on us, on them, it is. I think it's an inherently good thing.
Me too.
Yeah.
It is a good deed done.
Yeah.
And it's nice they've moved from competition to achievement, right?
Yes.
It's about achievement, which really is a great thing, to do in life, is to say, I'm going to this month do this one thing and make sure I've achieved it. How much intrinsic, like you said, positive self-growth that promotes.
Yeah, really absolutely. Great. So they can take different classes, right? Or do they, or end up in one thing?
I think it's that you can't take more than 3 of the same class.
Oh, okay. Because I wasn't clear on that, because I think Joe was like, maybe it would be good to do a lot of one thing for mastery, but I don't know. Yeah, cool. More than 3, great. I'm excited to see what both of our guys do, what everybody does. Shooting so far. Shooting guns sounds really intrinsically valuable.
Why you need to learn about that? Don't you just know how to do that? I mean, he's from Florida, right?
He's from Florida. I love shooting guns. I grew up with guns in the house. My dad would let me shoot BB guns as a little girl, and I've gone to gun ranges here in LA, and it's a good thing to know, if you got a gun in the house, especially how to fucking use it.
Absolutely.
I imagine you shot a lot growing up.
I got my first gun when I was 8.
Oh, listen how fun.
I got my second gun when I was 15. Then I got my third gun when I was 21. So yeah.
Special.
I grew up with guns. Yeah.
38 Good memories.
Special. 38 special. Yes. That's it. It's a 38 special. I still have it.
I love it. So and even Joey Diaz, I saw him talking to Ari on his podcast, and Joey was like, dog, it's a good thing to take a month off. Even the Jews. What is it? What do you Jews do this month?
Yom Kippur.
Is it Yom Kippur?
Rosh Hashanah just finished.
What is Yom Kippur?
Yeah, LeeAnn knows.
It's
the Day of Atonement.
The Day of Atonement.
You go and you repent for all the sins you did this whole year. You don't eat. You don't do anything for the whole day.
Oh, for one day?
Yeah, from I think it's from sundown to sundown.
Oh, okay,
That's
sundown
right.
to sundown. We don't do. So
You're lucky you just do it one day. Baptists have to do it every Sunday.
Ew,
Repent.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday you have to of your
my
sins.
God. And Ramadan's
week's
all month.
full of them.
Yeah. And then Ramadan, the Muslims, they do a whole month of fasting during the day, and then blah blah blah. So this is a time of reflection, of asking for forgiveness, Ari Shaffir, of thinking of how one conducts oneself, maybe how to improve oneself. So what will you be doing this? Are you getting sober, or are you gonna drink? I'm drinking. I don't give a fuck.
I don't drink enough to matter. So
right, I don't really drink. When I say I drink, I have a glass of white wine at night.
Yeah.
But go ahead. So are you gonna read with him?
No, I'm not participating in that. I mean, I read all the time anyway, so that's not a challenge for me. I read probably 4 or 5 books a month.
Good for
anyway,
you.
But I'm doing a challenge on my podcast, Wife of the Party.
Wife of the Party,
where
yes.
I feel really out of like super disorganized and really overwhelmed all the time. So 2 girlfriends and I decided we would like try and Uber organize our month, like meal plan the whole month.
I like that.
Designate a certain purpose for each day and stick to it as well as we could. And I started like checking my emails only 3 times a day. And like
that sounds amazing.
I'm on like I started September 30th and I'm like, where did all this free time come from? I literally am like sitting on the couch going, I haven't sat on my couch like in daylight in years. And just compartmentalizing the email thing has been amazing.
Well, because the inclination is to compulsively check your email. I know, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's stupid. It's terrible.
What I thought I'd do is at 8:30, I'd sit down at my computer, read all my emails and address them, and then don't look at it again until right after I've eaten lunch.
Brilliant.
And then I read them and address them, and then do it again right before I start making dinner.
Brilliant.
And then everything's handled because really does it matter between 8 and 12? And I put a little disclaimer like under my signature that says I check emails 3 times a day. If this is urgent, just text me.
Smart.
So if anybody needs something, they have my phone number.
That's a very great idea. What an inspirational. I like that. Your idea is to also reclaim your own time, your own sanity. I think I'm going to adopt this from my October. I'm going to continue to drink in October.
Yes.
But I have to do a lot of housekeeping. There's a lot of bullshit that we accumulate. We get a lot of swag from venues or from, whatever. People send us things. I want to declutter the house. I want to get organized too. I'm going to do this with you.
Can listen to my podcast.
Yeah, I will. Can people do this with you, ladies?
Yeah, I invited them to do us with it. We invited them to send us like go-to menus. I mean, or go-to meals.
Oh, I love it.
Cook. Any other organizational tools that they may use they think would fit into this plan. But yeah, so far I'm on day 3. I can't believe how much free time I have. And the thing is, Monday's my like errand day, so I buy groceries for all the menus I've planned for the week. So I'm going to the grocery store 1 day a week instead of like 4.
Yes.
And then I go, okay, tonight we're having tacos. And
you already know. So what day is your planning day? Monday? You plan the week's meals?
No, I planned 30 days of meals already.
Wow.
And it took me, no joke, it took me half an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought this is going to be like my entire Sunday. And half an hour I just went down and because I kind of compartmentalized it. We have Blue Apron.
Yes.
So I know 2 days a week I have Blue Apron. 1 day a week I have to pick George up from softball really late. So that day a week I need something I can just like pop in the oven or like a crock pot something or something like that.
Crock pot's the best. I do a lot of that. You can put a whole damn chicken in there, put some veggies around
Turn it on.
Set it and forget it for hours, and it's the best dinner.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing Taco Tuesdays and Friday night's pizza night. So that's the 5 days a week.
Bert has handled. 5 or 7 pieces of pizza, and then everyone else gets their half a slice. Yeah.
So we have leftovers.
Wow, I'm on it. All right, I'm.
It's cool.
I'm
so far, I can't believe how much it has stress it's relieved. I can't believe it.
Just planning your life.
Just sitting down.
Yeah.
And because my friend Kathy was like, I heard this podcast where this woman plans 60 days. And I went, she's out of her fucking mind. How could you plan 60 days? That's insane.
Yeah.
And I was like, so let's just stick to 30 and see how that works. And I was so shocked how easy that was. It was super easy. And then like my Mondays are errand day. I volunteer a lot. So Tuesdays I deal with all volunteerism stuff.
I didn't even know you did that.
Wednesday, I try to book all my doctor's appointments on Wednesdays.
Smart.
Thursday's like an open day, so if anything overflows. And then Friday's called a deep think day or deep work day. So anything I keep putting off, I kind of stop and do that day. And I've fit something in that day called the power hour. So in that 1 hour, I have a list of shit that I just can't seem to get done. Like there's a light bulb out in George's room I can't seem to get changed. And there's like this one thing I need to drop off at the UPS store. So that hour.
There's always a package.
There's always something. So for
now.
that 1 hour, the power hour, I just go through that list of stuff I can't seem to get to. That's not important. Something that doesn't have a deadline. And then for the rest of that day, I work on something that's for me, that's creative. Like I want to start writing a book. So on Fridays, everything goes off And that's the day I do that.
I love this. And what about your weekends? Do you have a day of rest?
The weekends I don't schedule at all. It's just
Those
open
free.
for whatever.
Do you have a day of rest at your house?
Sunday. We have Cyber Free Sunday.
I love it.
Everything is off. Well, the TV's not off, but everything electronic is off on Sunday. So the kids have to do homework on Saturday because most of their homework is online. So that Sunday is just unplugged. And I'm amazed at how happy they are. They're really happy.
Yeah, I agree. It's it's essential to not look at your device. Like even I get depressed even picking up the phone. Like, oh, why am I don't want to fucking look. I don't want to text. And you know how frustrating it is to even text sometimes because then it auto corrects. You're like, no, I meant to say fucking, not ducking. And then you have to go back again. And just the frustration I feel of operating my phone. It's nice to take a break. Yeah. So I like this. Check out Wife of the Party to follow LeeAnn on her Plantober. It sounds like what you're doing, right?
Sober Momtober.
Sober Momtober.
That's what Halston named it. I was like, I don't know if I want to align myself with Sober October. And he's like, trust me, that's a good idea.
That's
Sober
a good
Momtober. I was like,
love
okay.
I will not be sober in October, so if you would like to join me, I'll be drinking a glass of Sauvignon Blanc nightly as my husband does his Sober October stuff. But I will be organizing and decluttering. I'm going to check out what you girls are doing. I think that sounds cool. Any last thoughts, LeeAnn Kreischer?
No, I'm just I've battened down the hatches for this month, and I'm hoping it goes well for Bert.
Yes, and send her some free towels because God knows you guys need a lot of towels.
We go through some towels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom's a towel guy too.
He is, but does he hang them up when he's done with them?
Yeah, I have to say, Tom is pretty. Like he puts his underwear on the floor, but so do I. Like Tom and I are about the same level of slovenliness, which is good. He's okay. He's pretty decent that way. Yeah.
What about you?
He's a workaholic, but
Any last thoughts for you for Tom for this month?
You know what I wish for my husband because he works so much. I wish there was a chill-tober. I want maybe December is usually the month we take down because it's so quiet in showbiz.
Yeah.
For him, I want an enjoy life-tober because I feel like he works so hard, and especially now, like with the touring, and he's gearing up to shoot something, and I just see, like, I listened to some podcasts where they talked about early deaths in men and the link between Alzheimer's and working hard their entire lives. Men don't get enough sleep generally, and it wears down your brain, and it can lead to all kinds of health issues. So I want to keep him around, and I hate that he never takes a truly down day. Like I sent him to the spa on Monday because I was like, you're too much, bro. Get the fuck out of here. And I just sent him to the spa. But I just wish he would be able to unplug a bit more. Yeah. Like I want to throw the iPhone in the pool. I want to throw all our iPhones, to be fair, in the pool. Yeah. Yeah. Because I feel like I get that for men, the stress to be like the breadwinner is a lot.
Right. Well, I think they feel too like they need to strike while the iron's hot.
Especially in our business.
Exactly. Yeah. If the work is coming, you just can't say no.
Right.
And that's a really hard place to be in because then in a lot of ways they're right. You can't say no. You start saying no and everything starts dissipating. You have to get to a really big level so that, like Jerry Seinfeld or somewhere where it never really goes away. I think Bert feels that too, that he needs to eat shit, cash checks. That's what he says.
He's been saying that for a decade.
Eat shit, cash checks. That's what you do. So
yes,
but I hear you. I feel that way too. I feel like he needs some time off. And my question always is, how are you taking care of yourself?
That's the big one.
How are you taking? The big one. It doesn't have to be anything huge, but it has to be an intended. I'm taking care of myself by doing whatever. Yeah. Getting a massage, going to the spa, taking a nap. Bert's really good about taking naps, and I always think good. Yeah. Your schedule's so ragged that go take a nap. That's really good for your body. Yeah. I never ever. I'm like, oh, you're taking another nap. Yeah. Because I think that's how he's taking care of himself. Yeah. So
Tom's not a napper. I wish he would, because I do worry. I'm like, you gotta lay down, dude.
You should come spin with Bert.
I know.
Two bears, one cave.
I know. Also, check out their podcast, Two Bears, One Cave. All right, LeeAnn, I love you. And let's reconvene next week where we recap the first week of Sober October and how it's affected the wives, the widows of Sober October.
The weeping widows.
The weeping widows.
Sober October.
God damn it. All right.
So over October.
So over October. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading and watching us on YouTube. And we'll see you next week. Bye.